The next day, Lynn visits her mother in the hospital and finds out she brought her the gift she wanted. Lynn expresses her joy and tells her she's glad to be close to her and able to see her anytime. Her mother is touched and hugs her, making up for the day she was away due to work. After leaving her mother's place, Lynn calls her brother and tells him about her visit. He sounds upset, and when he hangs up, their father enters and confronts Lynn about not taking the money he left for her. He asks her brother to go to her university and give it to her. The next day, Lynn receives a call from Blaine, who says he's in the city, and they arrange to meet. Later, Lynn meets someone she knows from online gaming at a cafe, only to find out it's her roommate's sibling. Lynn joins them for a meal, and he gives her the Visa card, asking her to forgive their father and accept the money. Then Lynn goes to the shooting club and sees Zhang training. When she hears one of the team members insulting him, she hits him and takes Zhang to treat him to lunch. After they finish eating, they walk together and gaze at the sky. At night, Lynn returns to the dorm but can't find anyone. Zhang calls her, and she goes to meet him on the rooftop. She's surprised to find out that the cat has given birth, making Lynn happy. She tells Zhang that she remembered her puppy when it was small and how she found it on the street after its mother got hit by a car, which inspired her to study veterinary medicine. Zhang is captivated by her words and realizes how kind and compassionate she is. Suddenly, the guard locks him on the rooftop and Lynn feels cold. Zhang gives her his jacket to keep warm. Later, Zhang arrives with the guard and feels jealous seeing them together. He takes back the jacket from Zhang and gives it to Lynn, then leaves with her. When they reach the ground floor, it's clear he's upset. Lynn continues teasing him, saying Zhang is a nice guy who loves animals like her. Zhang gets angry and tells her to go alone. Lynn throws the jacket at him and runs off. The next day, Lynn sits with her friends and tells them about what happened with Zhang. She feels happy and senses that she might have feelings for him. Meanwhile, Zhang is training for shooting, and his friend notices he's distracted and seems upset. He suggests that Zhang might have feelings for Lynn and should confess to her before it's too late. However, Zhang denies it, saying they're just friends and that he enjoys teasing her because she used to bully him. Later, they have a lecture and Lynn sits next to Zhang. He helps her focus by highlighting important points for her. Zhang sits behind them, clearly upset, and Lynn teases him, asking what he finds interesting about their lecturer so he can continue staring at him. She notices he's drawing something, and when she takes the paper, she sees he's drawn a dog's head. Lynn is puzzled by his behavior and asks him what's wrong, but he doesn't respond and walks away. Lynn continues to bother him by holding on to the drawing. Later, Lynn goes to the restaurant with her friend, and Zhang and his friend enter, but this time he ignores her. Lynn is surprised, and her friend thinks they fought. After that, they go to the shooting club, and Lynn notices the coach is upset because they're not focusing. She offers him juice after practice to lighten his mood. After training, she talks to the coach, who is upset because he feels the team isn't training well. She suggests they have a competition against another team to motivate them, and the coach likes the idea and agrees. The next day, he gathers the team and tells them about the upcoming competition against another university's team next week. They're shocked because the opposing team is strong, but the coach tells them to train hard to be ready for the match. One of the team members develops feelings for Lynn and tries to get closer to her, offering to give her a ride on his motorcycle, which she accepts. He succeeds and punctures his tire. Lynn leaves him and runs to catch the lecture. The student gets angry and argues with him, wanting to hit him with the bow. The coach sees them and takes the bow from him. He wants to kick the student out of the team, but the student begs for forgiveness. Yenji intervenes as the team leader and asks the coach to give them another chance. He punishes them by making them do fitness exercises. They thank the student for saving their future, reconcile, and continue working together. The whole team runs together, including Lynn, and she is happy to see them bonding and becoming one team. When they finish and meet the basketball team, insults are exchanged. The team leader tells them that if they lose the competition, their team will disband. The team is shocked and upset. Lynn invites them for lunch to boost their morale, but they feel discouraged because they are competing against an undefeated team. That night, Lynn thinks about how to motivate them and grabs the microphone. She goes to the men's dormitory and cheers for the team, highlighting each member's strengths. However, the dorm supervisor chases her, but John helps her hide in his dorm. Lynn feels embarrassed and John talks to the supervisor and convinces her to leave. Lynn takes the opportunity to escape. The next day, she visits the place with the cats and finds John feeding them. She thanks him for helping her yesterday and tells him about the competition. John decides to help her, and they go to the team together with a camera. He continues to support them and takes pictures. At night, Lynn edits the photos and writes the date of the match on them. The next day, she starts distributing the photos to her friends and informs everyone about the competition, asking them to support their team. After that, the coach asks Young to change his shooting style, but Young refuses and argues with him. The coach ends up kicking Young out of the team. When Lynn finds out, she goes to talk to him and tells him that he promised her not to give up. Young tells her about his old coach, the one who made him love shooting. That's why he doesn't want to change his style, because it's who he is. Subs Lynn is captivated by their conversation and tries to lighten the mood by making him laugh to ease his tension. Then, Lynn goes to talk to the coach to understand why Young doesn't want to change his style. She tells him that he is talented and asks him to believe in him. She shows him the shooting board that Young trained on after he was expelled. Then the coach goes to talk to Young. He decides to make him the team leader again. He tells him that he and Lynn believe he will perform well in the competition. Young is moved by his words and decides not to disappoint them. He continues to train at night in the rain. On the day of the competition, Lynn and her friends attend along with other students to support their team. Lynn's brother also comes to support Young. He arrives at the team, determined from within himself. Everyone cheers for them. They reach the opposing team, showing their professionalism and thinking the match will be easy. The first round of the competition begins, with all team members shooting arrows at the same time to see who scores the most. Both teams score well and compete against each other. Then they take a break, and some team members feel like they will lose. But Lynn intervenes and motivates them. Young speaks to them as a leader, encouraging and boosting their confidence. They regain their belief in themselves. The second round begins, and Young competes with the other team's captain, who is a professional and has never been defeated in a challenge. Everyone is amazed by his skill. However, Young remains focused and realizes he can keep up with him. Lynn continues to cheer him on, telling him he can win, and that their abilities are evenly matched with the scores tied. The match continues for a long time, keeping everyone on edge, unable to predict the winner. As time runs out, the score remains tied, forcing them to play one final round. The one who scores the goal will win. Young puts on his headphones and listens to music, which distracts everyone. Young looks at Lynn, focusing all his attention, and shoots the arrow, successfully hitting the center of the target. The referee announces that their team has won the competition. The Lynn rejoices and the coach celebrates with the team, lifting Young up in disbelief. They celebrate their victory with a meal, and the coach urges them to remain focused and motivated. Lynn is at the restaurant, eating with her friends and with John. Young sees them and feels jealous. At night, Young talks to Lynn, apologizing for his behavior during their school days and revealing that his mother left home because of him. Lynn tells him she forgave him long ago. Young tries to confess his feelings for her, but hesitates. Lynn mentions wanting to ride her new bike, and Young gives her the keys. Lynn happily rides the bike, and Young watches her, clearly showing his affection. Suddenly, Lynn falls from the bike, and Young rushes to check on her, visibly concerned. He walks her back to the dorm. When he returns, he talks to his friend, admitting his fear of rejection from Lynn. His friend advises him to confess his feelings soon, or else John might win her over. The next day, John goes to the place with the cats and finds Lynn asleep, calling out to her. When she wakes up, John wants to say something, but Lynn's reaction is not shown. When she opens her eyes, she's surprised to see him in front of her and admires his handsomeness. Young asks her out on a date for the next day, and Lynn is surprised but agrees. She goes to the restaurant and finds Young there. She asks him about the type of girls boys like, and Young teases her, saying any type except her. Lynn gets upset and takes his food plate away. Young laughs, thinking she asked because she likes him. The next day, Lynn comes out of the dorm and finds John waiting for her. He compliments her hair, which is long now, making Lynn happy. They go to the library together, and Lynn sits close to him while he draws, showing her interest in him. When they leave, a gust of wind blows her wig off, revealing that she was wearing one. John is shocked, but compliments her, saying she looks beautiful regardless of her hair length. They go to eat together, and when Lynn tries to cut her meat, she accidentally drops it on herself, feeling embarrassed again. Afterward, John takes her to a dog shop, and Lynn happily cuddles the dogs. They then go for a walk together, and John tries to hold her hand, but Young interrupts them, noticing that she had asked him out. He feels jealous, makes a snide remark about her appearance, leaves them, and walks away. Lynn is surprised by his behavior, and thanks John for the outing, before saying goodbye and walking away. Young returns to the dorm feeling upset, reminiscing about his memories with Lynn in high school, how they were close, often argued, and made up on the same day. He sends her a message, inviting her for dinner the next day, and she happily accepts. The next day, they meet up, have dinner together, and talk about their memories from high school. Young gives Lynn the card he took from her when they were young, and she is happy to see it, surprised by his kindness and thinking he wants something from her. He tells her to consider it a birthday gift. Later, Lynn goes to meet her mom and asks her to have dinner with her on her birthday. Her mom agrees and asks if she has a crush on anyone at the university, making Lynn embarrassed and unwilling to answer. She tells her she wishes to reconcile with her parents and become a family again. When Lynn returns to the dorm, she creates an email account to talk to her dad about reconciliation, but he responds coldly, leaving her disappointed. The next day, her dorm mate wakes her up, and they hop on the university bus for a trip to the farm. Lynn sits next to John, who is supervising the trip. When they arrive, they happily take pictures with the animals. Lynn accidentally drops her phone without realizing it. Later, John explains how to interact with the animals. Lynn gets close to a goat, grabs its horns, and rides on its back, posing happily for a picture. As they get ready to leave, Lynn realizes her phone is missing and goes to look for it. She successfully finds it, but returns to see the bus leaving without her, leaving her scared and unsure what to do. John notices her distress and assures her he'll go with her. They hitch a ride with a farmer to get back to the city. Lynn is relieved to be out in the nice weather with a beautiful sky, but suddenly the driver hits a small lamb. Lynn and John get out to check on it, and they take it to the farm for treatment. After administering first aid, they arrange for it to be taken to the clinic the next day. They continue their journey, and Lynn worries about being late for dinner. When they reach the city, Lynn goes to the hospital to look for her mom, but can't find her. She learns from a doctor that her mom doesn't stay in the hospital overnight. She goes home every day. Lynn is surprised by this information. Later, her mom comes out of the operating room, and Lynn learns what happened from her roommate. She tries to call her daughter, but there's no answer. She calls her dad and tells him Lynn might have discovered the truth. He informs her that Lynn doesn't have an email. Lynn's dad realizes it was Lynn pretending to be her mom in their email exchanges. Lynn is upset, and John tries to cheer her up. She is surprised to receive an email from her mom and eagerly reads it. She calls her mom, who explains that she moved to a different ward in the hospital and forgot to inform her. Lynn is overjoyed and realizes there was a misunderstanding. She returns to John happily. He tells her he has a surprise for her. He got her a job at the pet store where he works. Meanwhile, Young overhears two girls talking about Lynn and John, how they rescued a lamb at the farm and seemed close. He gets annoyed and throws a cola bottle at them, which explodes on their clothes when they open it. When Lynn returns to her dorm, the supervisor tells her that a handsome guy left her a gift. Lynn is excited, thinking it's from John. The next day, she goes to the shooting club and tells Ling that she's leaving the team to work at the pet store. Jean will take her place. Young is surprised, showing signs of being upset. Lynn starts her first day at work, and the manager instructs her to clean the animal cages until she learns the job. Lynn reluctantly agrees. Later, the coach introduces Jean to the team as the new assistant. John's friend is happy to see her because he's interested in her. He helps her while she's picking up clothes and tells her that Young loves Lynn and asks her to help him get closer to her. We see Lynn at work, and John comes to help her. In the evening, Lynn returns to the Tired. Her friend tells her that Young has been asking for her a lot at the club. The next day, she argues with him and tells him to leave her friend alone. They play a game of chess and Lynn loses. She feels like she's late for work, so she rides her bike there. When she arrives, the manager tells her she's late and warns her that this is her last chance. She won't allow her to break the rules just because she's the friend of the owner's son. Lynn is surprised because she didn't know John's father owned the place. When she starts working, she guesses which cages need to be cleaned. But the manager scolds her, making her upset. She walks away crying and John follows her, trying to console her and encourage her. The next day, Lynn returns to work and finds John alone there. The manager is on vacation. She takes care of the animals and prepares their food. John compliments her and takes her to trim the dog's nails, continuing to flirt with her. When Lynn accidentally injures herself, she feels embarrassed and hurts herself unintentionally. John takes her to the clinic where she receives a shot. Young gets upset with John because he feels responsible for the accident. Lynn is surprised that he's so concerned about her. Young becomes tense and goes to get her medication. Lynn leaves the clinic and she takes a walk with John. She's surprised to find out that he wasn't the one who sent her the gift. John comes and takes her hand, revealing that he was the one who sent her the gift. Lynn thanks him and walks with him back to the dorm. Later, Lynn goes to visit her mother. When she learns that she hurt herself, her mother gets upset and tells her to be careful. Lynn is happy that her mother cares about her. The semester ends and students are supposed to return home. However, Young has winter training with the shooting team and is upset because he won't see Lynn. His friend advises him to confess his feelings before she leaves. However, Young hesitates. The next day, his friend says goodbye to Jean, who's leaving, and tells her he'll miss her. He takes a taxi and tells her to call him when she arrives. Young learns from Lynn's friend that she's staying in the city. When he calls her, she tells him she's continuing to work at the pet store. He overhears John's voice as they agree to watch the fireworks together. He feels jealous and walks away angry. Lynn is seen chasing a dog in the store when John's parents enter and scold her for neglecting her duties, warning her that the dog might escape. John recognizes them and introduces Lynn as his university classmate. Lynn lets them talk while she walks away. She receives a call from her mother, who tells her she won't be able to meet her for New Year's Eve, which upsets Lynn because she wanted her family to be together. She looks at John and his family sadly before going to Young's dorm and finding him packing his bag. She's surprised to learn that he has winter training and won't be going home. She tries to talk to him, but he doesn't respond, so she leaves to find her boyfriend, feeling upset. When she returns to her dorm, it's empty, and she finds the broken gift from Young. She picks up the pieces from the floor, crying.